But I'm not gonna say anything I already said.
That's totally fine. I've already heard it. Nobody else really cares. I mean, I don't mean that. Like nobody that could actually make a change cares what one sixth grader say.
Yeah, I can't make a change. You can't make a change, but
Could a number of us, if there was a very large number of maybe higher age people, like I don't know, high school, college, who felt this way as well due to their previous schooling, do you think that would be enough, or are the teachers and principals and whatever are they just too ignorant and set in their ways to do anything about it?
you I bet a lot of people do. But I also bet there's no way because like protest. People protest on the street all the time, but how many times do those protests work out? Only if they're feeling super strong about it. But they could care less about people's thoughts. Adults could care less about any person's thoughts. They don't care. All they care about is if they make money and if it's going okay for them. Because they're in quote unquote higher authority than us. So, what does that mean? That means that they are older and they're from a previous generation who may have thought the same way, but now they're older and now they're out of all their troubles. Except for their other troubles, but I'm not going to go into that. But what I am going to say is that during your first educational years or during your whole entire educational career, I don't want to go through like this for the whole time. And yet, I believe it's going to be like this or worse.
It will be like this.
And worse.
Well, if you want to think that it's going to be worse, then you can think that.
I could. But I
This you so you're saying that going through schooling like this is wasting the I don't know climax of our life.
I bet a lot of the climaxes are yet to come. But
Yeah.
I don't think it should take a whole 25 plus years of your life being in school. If you live to the moderate age of 80, that's more than a quarter of your life. And I'm not saying that a quarter of your life is directly in school, but it's during your educational years. And probably not a big fraction of your life is actually spent in school. But it's like a feeling, if I were to put it in the worst way possible.
The worst way possible.
uh no, scrap that. I could I could not be an example for anybody because everybody who's going through a state like this would completely understand me. They would be like, I know, like you.
I
But
understand you.
you understand me completely. But all adults understand is that all they are little toys that you can manipulate. It's
So
it's like
wait,
kids to adults are like Legos, right? All they can do is they can manipulate them, but they can't do anything in return.
what? But you're saying that's all adults. What about when you're an adult?
When I'm an adult, yes, frankly, I'd probably do the same thing, but I would also understand children. And a lot of people do that, but a lot of people who run the educational community are around children all the time. And it's sort of becoming not a hassle. That's probably not a good way to say it, but a load, sort of a burden to carry. And they can't, and after a while, you get tired of other people, and yes, I probably will. And teachers are around other people all the time.
Do you do you think that there are teachers, principals, attendants in the world that thinks the way or similar to the way that you're thinking but can't do anything about it due to the small number of people that actually think their or your way?
There are a select few, but a lot of people want to have an image like they understand you. And so they put it out like, oh, school is great, I know you know, but it's not exactly that wording, of course. But I believe there are some people who fully understand, but if they were to make a change, that change will probably be nil. Because what can you do? Even the head of education can't do anything, right?
Right. They really can't.
Unless the whole entire United States was suddenly like, yes, we should, but no.
That's never going to happen. The whole entire United States is never going to all agree on one topic.
It's never going to, and probably only like 0.5% of people think the same way that I do in this country.
Which is kind of sad.
But I see, and in school, right? You are sort of under the realm of the teacher. You are totally like, come back to the toy thing. You can be manipulated. You can be given a job, and either you have to do it or they get angry at you. You're manipulated. Or not in like a reality standpoint, but more of like a mental evaluation. See,
I felt that before, being manipulated, because like when Miss Miller like congratulates you on a poem or something, it makes you feel good. But you know.
But does she really care?
That's what I was just about to say. Is it really genuine? And are there people that she says the same exact thing about? And too, yeah.
Yes, and you can say that everybody in the world's awesome, but you couldn't. But in real life, you don't believe that anyway.
Right.
You could say,
apparently I mispronounced something when I was saying my book number to her, and she called me an honest guy. And then the day after that, I asked her if I could like print something in another period, and she got all mad at me for not wanting to print it right away. So like, the first time she made me think, oh, she cares, she thinks I'm honest, but the next day she made me feel like, nothing.
you can say anything to anybody, but
you don't mean it.
But you can't mean it. I could say to you that you are this is probably opposite of what's actually happening, but you are the worst, most horrible person ever. And I can just say that. But does that mean that I think you're the worst, most horriblest person ever? No.
That's what people say. They say things and then they end up feeling bad about it, and then they end up regretting it, and then they end up,
But teachers.
It's a different thing.
It's a different story because you can't talk back to the teacher, and the teacher will never give you an apology. Will they?
That's what you're saying. You're saying because you can't talk back to them, meaning you feel confined to just listening to them, doing what they want, participating, doing their homework, getting a good grade. Because if you don't, you're gonna have to stay after school, and there goes your social life because you're trying to do extracurriculars as well. They are really manipulating.
You are completely right. And in a sense, if I'm trying to see tutors, right?
Yeah.
All they have to deal with is one person, and you can tell them if they're wrong and stuff. And it's not every person, but most likely they will understand and agree with you, just like your friends, right? There's one or two people, and like you're doing to me, I could prove you wrong, and then you can agree that you're wrong. You can say, oh, I realize that now. But teachers are like, maybe not directly saying it, but they always think they're on top of the world and they know more than the students, and they think that
I
You can.
With tutors, it's okay. So
Spit it out.
people that have tutors need tutors, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because they're failing academically or under par academically or do or need help, seeing what's right and wrong, like Jacob Lewis's case.
Yeah. Well,
Because he's smart.
yes,
He is
I
smart.
think that tutor maybe was the wrong word. I meant like an individual that was teaching you, like your
Like
friends.
one.
Yeah. I can regret what I say, but it's still gonna be there, whatever. But the thing is, if you're talking to an individual like me, I could prove you wrong, and then you could say, "Oh yeah, I fully understand that now. I get it." And you
It doesn't mean I fully understand it.
no, well, maybe not fully understand, but I get it. I get it now. I was wrong. You could say that, and I would say that, and you would probably say that. You wouldn't just keep thinking that you know, and teachers think that they're actually teaching the students what they know, even if the student already knows.
But say you can talk back to the tutor or individual but it's because don't you think the teachers maybe feel a tiny bit of pressure?
No, they feel a lot of pressure. I
Because
completely.
they have to see, like in Miss Miller's case, when she was like a 7th grade teacher or whatever, she saw like 150 students a day, rather than just one person.
Yeah.
So there's more pressure.
Teachers are under a lot of pressure. I understand.
No,
but-
but if you mess up when you're a teacher, seeing 200 students, they're all gonna see it, they're all gonna notice it, and then you've just made a fool out of yourself.
Yes.
So that's why it's harder.
But you're gonna make a bigger fool out of yourself saying, I am not wrong. You have to accept that you are wrong.
Because students, would you rather be the mean old teacher who never said she was wrong, or the teacher that even though she was under a lot of pressure, she was kind of go with the flow and knew when she or he was wrong and actually accepted it?
I would
I'd rather be. I mean, you don't want to be that ignorant person that always thinks they're right no matter what.
Yeah, I don't.
It's really annoying because sometimes
It's-
even if you're a brilliant math student, if you rarely ever mess up and you make an arithmetic error, a simple arithmetic error, you can't be like, no, that's not right. 1 + 1 is 3. Sometimes you just need to admit that you're wrong, like you're saying.
But I know that a lot of teachers want to be that way, but they can't because they're under a lot of pressure. The teachers are probably under a lot more pressure than the students are. I understand. There's a lot of work involved in being a teacher.
Miss
And-
Miller, when we went to like a conference with Miss Miller and Mr. Blatt when I was moving up, right?
Mhm.
And so like she was telling my parents that she's often at school until 7. Whether it be having to grade the insane amount of homework that she's forced to give us.
She's
or-
not. Nobody is forced to give you homework. Yes, you have to give a bit of homework, but what you give doesn't matter because sometimes teachers run out of time, and they can't be like, "Oh no, I didn't give the students any homework." They're just like, "Okay, we ran out of time. You can have the work tomorrow." See, that's pretty loose on the homework standpoint. Teachers don't have to give that much homework. They just do because they want to go through it faster.
Anyone else is gonna care because you're passing these adults off as like some of them being ignorant and not being able to understand and like set in their ways. Don't you think those types of adult would actually take note if there was a teacher that wasn't giving enough homework?
Well, what is enough?
Depends on the class.
Enough is my question. It doesn't depend on the class. What is enough? Enough is your standard. And the standard for education is too high. I'm saying. You could argue with me.
What level? I know this really I mean, are we actually like doing a certain level of like um quality work in that class? Like, are we doing like
Some,
2 grades higher?
but you're not doing above and beyond and outside everybody. No, you're not. What you're doing is almost the same thing because you're in the same grade. Sixth grade through eighth grade, difference, but not in the entirely. I mean, yes, you're doing. I can't say you're doing more advanced stuff than what the regular people do. I can say that you're getting more homework and you're getting more stimulus and you're going through it faster. And you're doing more work, which will help you be somewhat of a better worker in your future life. But you're not, what you're not doing is learning. I can't word this exactly right.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
What you're not doing is actually learning more. Well, yes, you are. I can't. You're learning you're learning to do more work and have it done faster and have it done more. And that's one of the things that you're learning to do. But you're going to have to do that eventually anyway. So why not be in a regular class, you say? And I'm like, I don't know. I can't see much of a difference between your math class
Yes,
and my math class.
you can.
What I can see is one grade level higher, just one. But we're going.
What you're saying is that grade levels don't really.
I mean, they do matter, but they don't matter as much. It's not like a step. A grade is not the biggest step. It's sort of like half a step. It should be like 2 steps.
Yes.
Because
Because my mom has said it too. Like 4th grade to 5th grade for Connor was one of the biggest steps, but it was still 1 grade. Just like 8th to 9th grade is going to be 1 grade. It's not like 3rd to 4th isn't larger than 8th to 9th, is it?
no, it's not. What grades are just a number of how old you are. They don't mean that you're any smarter. They don't mean that you're any stupider. All they mean is that how old you are. If you're in 6th grade, you're 11 or 12. Simple as that. A lot of people in 6th grade are stupider than a lot of people in 4th grade. And I'm not pointing fingers here. And I'm not pointing any fingers, but I'm saying that some people, in or out, are smarter than other people in a higher grade level. It's simple as that. It's just that simple. You want to add anything?
I knew that you had opinions and that you were incredibly bright, but I'm very surprised. You just.
What, did I not have a good point?
No, I sat here and listened to you and didn't say anything because you had an awful point. Of course you had a good point. And how did we get started on this topic? We don't want to go to school on Monday.
Exactly.
And you said that at 5 o'clock. You said, ugh, it's 5 o'clock. I don't want to go to school on Monday. We've debated for a good 40 minutes now. You've just...
Am I doing something wrong?
What you've pretty much... I don't even know.
Come on, say it. I know you can say it.
Yeah, I know.
Just say it. Why is it so hard to spit it out?
I don't know. Because if I say something wrong that you don't agree with, then you're going to criticize it, which is fine, but...
No, I'm not. Just say it. I probably am, but just say it.
I probably am. I'm glad that you know that.
I am glad.
Yes. So, you're saying... So, you're feeling like if you were to say something to the school, if you were to post it on the internet, and it got 1 million views, or everybody listened, then nobody would
a lot of people would think that they're doing something about it. Let's
But in
say,
reality,
but in reality, no. Let's say you are let's say there's a video game online that says if you play this game, you're helping test it. Are you helping test it? No. How are you not helping test it? Because they're already doing it. And all you're doing is playing the early stages of the game. You're not helping them in the slightest. They just make you think you are. If you're donating to a cause, yes, you have an effect, but your effect is nil to nothing. If it's a small cause, yes, it may be a lot. But if it's like a large organization that gets money out of donating, if you donate $10, I don't think necessarily that would mean much.
so even if you think you're doing something about it, you really.
You're not. You can go up to the teacher and say that, but would the teacher say anything? Would the teacher go up to the principal and say anything about it? No.
If she was gonna say anything to the principal about what you said, it'd be that this kid spoke out and acted out, and that's not acceptable. Which is no.
True.
They wouldn't tell the principal.
They wouldn't tell the principal that they're doing something wrong.
If you tried to maybe verbally corner a teacher or have the teacher at a loss, then you know what they would do? They wouldn't tell anybody about it. You'd think, oh, they go tell everybody and everyone would want to make a change.
No, they're gonna be smug about it. I know. And the thing is, Mrs. Sykes said to me, because I always have a lot of stuff to carry because I don't ever want to be late for class. She told me that she would give me she would know when that happens and just know that I'm late. But does that ever happen? No. And that's why I still try not to be late, because that never happens.
No, sometimes with some things, teachers are all bark and no bite. They try to intimidate you. They're like, we might even give you a step card, and we might extend it home to your parents, but they've maybe only given out one in like 20 years of teaching. Or they'll say, like, you're going to be late for class. I've been in the same class as Jonathan Rosebush for two subjects all year, so science and social studies. And he's been late 5 minutes or more, and he's never gotten a detention.
And what does detention even mean anymore? Staying after school.
That they give you a lot of. Do they let you do homework in detention?
Mm-hmm. A detention is basically staying after school for homework club.
Well, then you know what that's saying. If you're getting a lot of homework, then who cares if you get a detention? So who cares what the teacher thinks of you? They can't say anything.
Exactly.
About you. If you have 100 detentions in 1 year, what they're still gonna say?
They may mark.
When they say goodbye to you at the end of the year, they're not gonna say, "Oh, you're the awful one who had all the detentions." They're gonna say, "Have a good 7th grade," and you're not gonna feel a darn thing. You're not gonna feel guilty,
Right.
Because you, 1, been there 100 times. 2, probably you're not gonna care. 3, you're getting homework done, which is a win-win because they're giving you an insane amount of homework.
Okay. Detention doesn't mean anything anymore. I know that. They may give you a mark on your report card. Whatever. But what does that mean? A little stamp of ink. What does that even mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. Unless you come up to me and say that I'm doing something wrong, a little mark on my report card won't mean anything.
What about like a school that you want to get into? Would they see that?
Yes, they will see that.
What will they think?
But-
Oh, this kid had a
But you're not going to learn. They can say this kid has a detention. Maybe they won't let you into the school. But what I'm trying to get out here is that what they're doing is not helping you stop getting detention. You have no motive to stop getting detentions. That's happening. And that's
Because if they give you detentions, they're gonna feel sad that it's actually, which is what you said. If you donate $10 to something that needs like $10 million, you think you're making a big difference. With teachers, if they give you one detention, they think they're giving you a big difference in your, like behavioral problem.
You
They're
don't,
not. They're just giving you a good environment to start your homework.
and then you get all scared like you're going to detention, and all it is a 1 hour after school thingy that
Some kids don't
does-
get scared that they're going to
doesn't
detention.
even
Some
matter
kids don't
anything.
care.
If they give you 5 minutes of you writing on the board, I won't do this again, and then just 5 minutes.
You're gonna write it because you have to, because it won't get you in further trouble, not because you mean it.
Yeah, and they don't even make you do that. And what you can say is you could the teacher could actually talk to you and say something about it. They can't just scold you. Well,
Do you think some of the
they
disciplinary techniques they used back, I don't know, like 20 years ago, worked better than some now?
they did. And the teacher should go up to,
Watching them?
well, some of them did. But yes, you may think that's bad, and that is bad. But if I were a teacher, which I actually want to be, because I can understand what the students
I
feel.
want to as well, actually. I've been thinking a lot
I
about
want to be like a high school physics teacher.
high school physics. Okay.
But if I
Teachers, but it'd be for a higher grade, right?
Yeah. Because
we're
lower grade is basically daycare.
Miss Canty. The sun goes up and down in space, and Stonehenge was built by dinosaurs.
Yes. If I think the teacher should, instead of just letting them go and doing their homework, I think they should sit down with them for at least 5 minutes and just say, you're disrupting the class, whatever. They should say it not,
If they say you're disrupting the class, they're gonna be like, so what?
yes. But they should follow through like I do. They should say why and why you shouldn't do it. Like, they should actually give you example, not just scold you on. That's what teachers, parents, and a lot of other adults do. All they do is scold you, and you can't ask why. Because if you ask why, all they're going to do is scold you some more.
Like, why are you talking back to me? Why are you asking why?
Yeah. They can't, they never give you an example. Unless they're a very smart person. They don't give you an example of why you should stop doing it. What's my motive to stop doing it if you're not doing anything about it anyway?
Well, you're telling me all of the things that wouldn't work when you're, whatever, disciplining, detention. What would work?
What would work is if you give them an example, like, if you keep getting detentions, then you may not be allowed in schools, you may not be able to get a good job, and you may, not have a very
So
good
you
life.
reckon something like that would scare them, or telling them something like that would scare them and motivate them to work?
No, not scare them, but give them an example of why they shouldn't. Not frighten them. Oh no, I can't have a good life if I keep getting in detention. No, not in that harsh way, but not in that big of a realm. But you may not be accepted in the school you want to go or the college you want to go if you keep getting. Which actually matters. If
What if it doesn't matter to them?
if it doesn't matter to you, then
That's their problem.
that's you or their problem. But it should matter to you. Or else if you don't get a good college, you won't have a very good life. You may not have the life you want. Would you rather be working for a high-paying job that you really want to be at forever and ever? Or work at McDonald's? Your choice. Either
I
listen
think it's fun to work anyway.
to
I'm
them.
bored of doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, listen to them or not. It's your choice. It should be up to the students in the end.
Are you still recording?
It should be up to the students, not the teachers, not the parents. It's up to you. and nobody can control what I do. Well, not like my actions and stuff, because that obviously needs controlling. But I mean my my decisions. What I decide to do, not in a bad way, not like I decide to blow up, whatever. But what college I go to, what class I go to, that should be up to me. If I think that I don't want to do that much work and I should be in a regular class, it's up to me. If I think that this class is boring and I need to go into a larger class, it's up to me. Like going back to the thing about it doesn't mean anything. What Mr. Gillette said to you, he's like, you're very smart and we know you're above everybody else. So why didn't he do anything about it?
He didn't say that I was better than anybody else. He said it was me and one other person.
Yeah, but like, why didn't he do anything about it? That's what I'm saying.
What do you think about it?
Why didn't he do anything about it?
He honestly wanted to leave it up to me.
Yes.
But you do have a good point. When we were in the meeting, he told me, hey Sarah, it's you and one other person. You guys, you rule the class. And all. 1 second, what do we have? How's the milk, please? Have some milk, please. Yeah? Okay. He did tell me though. He said, you and one other person, you guys, you're obviously ahead of everybody else. Well, that's great. Thanks for letting me stay here.
Like, you can agree totally that we have a good point. And not only because we don't want to go to school, but because we know that something's corrupt here. Not about school entirely, but about humanity, really. And this is quite a big topic. This is quite a broad topic. And I don't want to narrow it down to one person. But I do just want to get this out there and say, come on. Get your act up. If you want the world to continue the way it is, then
why do we want the world right now? Why do we want the world to continue the way it is?
that's your problem, but it shouldn't also be my problem.
It's true.
If you and everybody else in the world want to blow up the earth, fine, blow up the earth, but it shouldn't also be my problem. You would have to get me somewhere else first.
But it becomes your problem, which is unfair.
Which is unfair. If the majority of people think it should stay the same, that's their problem. But then it's also my problem. So, what the heck? I know that this is never going to happen, and that it would be unfair for an individual to change the rule of a lot of people. But I don't think majority vote should really be the thing that decides. I think if
And all, who's been your favorite teacher?
Mrs. Carp, she was my 5th grade teacher, right? And
Did
you,
you realize that you were ahead of everybody?
well, yeah, because you were in her math class, and she know that some people know that that they're ahead of other people, and yes, maybe she didn't do much about it. Yes, she did, because she did put me in accelerated math and language arts, because she knew that I knew. And what she also did was, she let me talk back to her and correct her and like give interesting facts and stuff. And that's
Because she knew that she knew that you were ahead of everybody, and 99% of the time you're going to be right,
right.
and you're harmless. You're not going to talk back to her to be rude or disrespectful.
Like Jonathan Rosebush.
Yeah, he's in my class this year. Oh my god.
What?
I kind of feel bad for him. He has problems.
Well, she likes people. But I think the only person she had a lot of trouble with was, fill in the blank.
That's what happens with Miss Miller. That's what happens with Miss Miller too.
I mean, you can always tell if there's one person that a teacher dislikes. Maybe that's a little bit off topic. And I'm going to upload this whole speech raw. I'm not going to edit it in any way because it's going to stay like it is for people to pick up any piece of information, whether it's boring or not. And yes, maybe 0 people will watch the whole thing. Whatever. But just getting it out there for future generations. What if this one video or audio clip survives? Like, it probably won't, but what if this one video gets taken out into outer space, survives the death of the sun and the earth, and what if someone in the future, way in the future, way in the future, listens to this and they say, is that really how it was back then? And maybe not that far in the future, maybe 50 years. The truth is yes. I hope YouTube will be still around. Maybe not in those billions and billions of years, but maybe I'm exaggerating a lot. Maybe I'm saying 20 years, 50 years. Seems fair. If they hear this video, this very video from a 6th grader, and it'd be an awakening. And if it's the same way, I hope somebody understands. Okay, guys. April 26, 2014, AD. Right now, right here, we're talking about the things that are wrong with school. And you should know, in the future, if it's like this way in the future, when I'm dead, if it's like this way, I hope you can change it. Are we clear?
Pretty sure.
Because I hope that was the clearest thing in the world. Clear. But I'm not done yet.
No. I don't want you to be. I mean, it's not the clearest thing in the world, I can say that.
Sure.
It is one of the deepest things I've ever heard of.
Coming from me. And
I stood for it.
a good speech doesn't have... if a teacher... We're going back to our roots, right? If the teacher rewards you, it's sort of like a story, really, but I'm just giving details. If a teacher rewards you for doing good work, does the teacher care? Does that matter? No, it doesn't matter.
Not really.
You only think it matters, and the only person it matters to is you, because you're falling into that trance. You're falling into the realm of thinking, oh yeah, I did a good job. I should appreciate myself. But you really didn't. All grades are a letter or a number on a piece of paper saying, this is what we think you are. Maybe that wasn't too clear, but all it is a number. All you are, school, is a number. You are a number on a big spreadsheet, and all that matters is nothing to the school. All that matters is to you, the individual who think it matters. And the only way you can think it matters is if the teacher can get their point across. And
You were saying how you appreciate Mrs. Clark for, I'm getting more off topic, wanting you to move you up, right?
Mhm.
Well, guess what? I had an A, an A minus, a B minus, and a B plus in Mrs. Former's class, right?
Mhm.
And she didn't recommend me. And I know you've been saying it's accelerated is the same as average. Only what was the difference?
Only you get more work, and you're probably a grade level higher.
Right. A grade level is not that much.
No, it's not.
Right now, I still wonder why she didn't recommend me, because there are kids who got lower grades than me who she recommended. So, what did I do? Also, do you believe in coincidences? Or,
No.
Things meant to happen?
Coincidences happen. Yes. Because, like, you can't always say that something happens because some particular action and some particular person meant it to happen. Coincidences happen, but a lot of times, it's not. A lot of times, if a grade doesn't mean anything, or it doesn't mean everything. It means something, but it doesn't mean everything. You can get a good grade from doing a lot of extra credit, but would that mean that you're a smart individual? Maybe not.
Oh, come on. I'm pretty smart and I did that in social studies.
I I know you're smart. I don't know why in this case, but the teacher has to recognize your brilliance. And I know that you're smart, but in this particular case, I don't know. But in other cases, even if you get a good grade, she has to recognize that you're a smart person. And I know that you're a smart person.
I would say you're a smart person as well, but I mean, that's pretty obvious because the speech, oh my god, it's amazing.
Well, this speech doesn't have anything to do with the academic. What is academic? Academic is just you doing lots.
You get out on a piece of paper. That's what academic is. If you're a little bit above or a little bit below people, and if the teacher marks a certain letter of the alphabet down on a piece of paper, and then hey, it's in your permanent records forever.
Yep. And could that matter?
In some cases, kindergarten grades don't really matter. They don't. Do they?
Nope.
Colleges don't look at what you got in kindergarten.
Yeah, you're completely right. Doesn't matter? Of course it doesn't matter.
Because like in kindergarten, you're graded on a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. On topics like specials, art, did they use all of their materials effectively? If you're applying for like a good maths, and they look at they're not going to look at your kindergarten report card and say, oh, sorry, you got a below grade level in math in kindergarten, but you're brilliant now, so we can't accept you. They're not going to do that.
No, they're not.
So in some cases, academics aren't going to matter, but when you get into high school, when you're getting really close to college, they want to know, did you take those accelerated courses? They want to know how many extracurriculars did you do? Did you actually try on everything that you did? Or are you just some kind of fluke? They actually look at those things. But like in the lower grades, you don't really sweat it.
Exactly.
What's your opinion on parental influence?
Hold on.
If you have one at all.
That is not that's not too right, because you can't be disrespectful, rude, and think that you're doing something better for them. No, you're not. You're just doing something worse. And being a parent is all about taking care of the children, and you have to do a good job. Some people are just not meant to be parents.
It's true.
Even if they are. See, you have to understand people. You have to work with people. You have to accept their thoughts before you can be any kind of social worker or parent. You have to be at the level where you could be a clinical social worker before you can actually be a parent.
Or you could be a what?
You have to be at a level where you can work with people nicely and accept them and accept their knowledge, and
a social worker?
Like, you have to be at the level of where you can socialize with people, or you have to be at a level where you can get a job application as a social worker before I recommend you being a parent. And maybe that's wrong. What?
When I was born, I mean, your jobs have changed obviously now, but when I was born, both of my parents were actually social workers.
Are they good parents?
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe. But
going on, yeah.
oh man, I'm so brilliant.
You
Here's the deal. Oh yeah, here's the other deal. I don't know if anybody could hear you on
How
what?
many deals do you have?
What?
How many deals do you have? What?
After dinner, brother and I want us to go to Dairy Queen.
Okay, I'll come with you.
Are you in?
Yeah, I'm in.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, wait, no, I was just gonna ask you something, but I got distracted.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say I don't know if everybody can hear you unless they pump up their volume really loud, because
I honestly don't care.
yeah, but you're making good points that sum up my points because I'm not just doing this
Well,
down.
then, you accept your Nobel Prize, just mention it. Okay?
I don't think I'm ever gonna get one because all this thing is people think it's a quote unquote stupid topic that no one will care about because the future generation won't care about this unless you are in the same spot as I am.
There's an old saying that says, on your way up, make sure to thank all the little people because you might be seeing them again on your way down.
It's true. Okay.
So true.
Sometimes, do you ever feel, how do I want to word this? Do you ever feel like, I mean, have you ever been like in a grade where maybe you felt like nobody really genuinely understood you as a person?
Yes.
And then, this is happening to me this year, and then you want to, and then of course you get that. But then, you want to like hang out with the teachers, right? Because they're smart, and they'll get you. But guess what? They have 99 other students that they have to deal with as well.
Yeah, I know. Precisely.
And then, so you're like, oh, so they only have time for me certain times, right?
Yes.
And then they totally underwhelm you by being shallow in some case. And then you're like, oh, that's awful. I'm gonna totally avoid them. And then because the students don't get you, no, the students don't get you. You think like this was Kate Lake, this was in this case. You think you get them. Like you think they get you. You get them. You think they get you. And then you hear them make a joke about something totally inappropriate. And then you're like, okay.
You don't get me.
That you get it, Non.
I get it.
I thought, because like Will Martinez moved away, right? And we all sat together in science. So it was Cade and Will, and then me just sitting there. And I was like, okay, this is boring. And then Will moved away, right?
Yeah.
I thought Cade got me. We would like whisper whatever. And I was still getting good grades in science. It was fine. I could actually socialize. And then I hear him with Colby. He starts like making all these gay jokes and retarded jokes. And I'm just like, okay, you don't get it. Will got it. Like Will Martinez, whenever I talk to him, he got it. Because he's smart, he's bright, he got it. And he moved. I had a really good friend in 3rd grade. His name was Samuel Larson, and he moved to South Carolina. And I went over to his house, we played good football or whatever, but he was smart. He was in auxiliary classes, he got me. All my friends that actually got me, like Will and Sam, they all move away. And do you think that's a coincidence?
Well, I don't think that's a hard question. I could say it's a coincidence, but then I would be regretting what I actually think.
In military time,
I don't think anyone's making them. See, I'm not
Am I
moving.
just do I just think that they got me? And
No.
then I just want to make people feel sorry for me by telling them that 2 of my best intellectual friends moved away. Am I like, or was that actually like?
Look, I get you. You know that I know that I get you, and
Oh yeah.
you also get me, somewhat. But
I try to get you.
yes,
I actually try.
you do try.
I'm one of the only people in the school that actually will try, which is sad.
Because everybody else would just say, whatever.
Yeah, who cares what he's saying? I can't understand what he's saying. He's just this little guy. I don't get him. Why try to get him? He's just, I don't get what he's saying, and if I can't comprehend it, then that means nobody can, and why even try?
And that means, and people think that it also doesn't matter what I say, but it matters so much more than what you think. It matters more than your stupid toys or your stupid thing. This is the future. I'm talking about the future. I'm not talking about some stupid, I'm not complaining over what you said before. I'm not complaining over candy or anything. I'm not complaining over that I don't want to go to school on Monday. So what? I'm complaining about the generation, the future of education. And I'm complaining that this is wrong. And this is the kind of thing that they would talk about in big public speeches. So why aren't they talking about this? Why are they trying to silence this? They are, because they want to control you. All they want to do is control you, and they think that you don't care. But guess what, people? I do care. Jeez.
Some people try, because some people notice that, like, again, I'm going to bring up Kate. He notices that you're brilliant, that you're really smart, and he just says, like, whenever once I said, like, what do you think of Nan? And he goes, Nan's awesome, but he didn't back it up. He knows that you're smart, but he can't comprehend. So those are the people that just kind of say, when this guy changes the world, I want to be the person that says, I agreed with him before everybody else. Just so they can kind of say, I'm the guy, I'm the freeloader who just hopped on this train, and you guys doubted. You think that if they were there from the beginning, that's actually going to mean something, but it really doesn't. So great, you notice that this person is brilliant. That's not going to change. It's not going to separate you from all the people who maybe didn't realize it.
If I were to give credit to anybody who helped me bring me to this point, if I ever say that, I would recommend someone like you who keeps understanding and backing up. And I don't want people who think that, oh yeah, I know. So what? You have to talk to me, explain to me. You have to be with me along the way for me to give any credit to you. No. I'm good. But
Like, I'm not going to be able to comprehend. I said this. I'm not going to be able to comprehend everything you're saying. You know that, right?
yeah, but are you gonna try to be with me on the road? That's the question. See? And if somebody just says that and doesn't mean it, I don't care about them. But I know that you mean it, because I can tell. And how long is this speech going on for? 53 minutes. That's okay. I'll stop at about an hour, but I know that I'm being redundant here. I know that we're just saying the same thing, but all I'm trying to do is get it in whoever's mind is watching this. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. People are people.
1 second. Guys, I'll figure it out when we get home.
You were thinking of taking it to GameStop.
No. I can figure it out.
Well, we're going to the mall for Dairy Queen.
I can figure it out when we get home. What
Okay.
does he need help with?
He really wants the date to be right.
Okay, well then what we need to do is when we were first setting up the date on his CS, we accidentally set it as his birthday, 2006. So when we tried to change it back,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, when we told Animal Crossing had the right date
Mm-hmm.
from Parker's previous CS.
Yep.
So when we put in the date and we got it wrong and it changed it from 2006 to 2014, it immediately went to 2019 because it already had the correct date. So we just need to change the date on the DS back to 2006, I think. Back to 2006? I think so. Okay.
Well,
I'll work on it more later though.
Parker will try that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
They messed up a thing on his DS.
But that's okay. This is sort of an open, free thingy, so it doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah, thank you. Because he like has this game on his DS called Animal Crossing, and he dropped his 3DS XL. So for his birthday, my grandparents got him a new DS, a 3DS, and he's like all sad because he messed up the date. So it's just Animal Crossing, whatever, thinks it's like 2020. And I have to fix it. And yeah, that's very fun. I love it. But back to the thing where like you think that maybe a student will get you, then they're gone, or they don't, or they disappoint you, or they move, and then you think a teacher gets you, and then they don't have time for you, or they also let you down, and then so who does that leave you with?
Nobody.
It doesn't though.
It only leaves you with your bestest of closest friends, family, or whoever who actually will take the time to sit with you. Not literally, but understand.
In most cases, it's like an aunt or an uncle.
But who would do that? Nobody. Ain't nobody got time for that. That's what they think. Right? And I'm being legit here.
But the thing you were saying about it manipulating, I think that might not only be with teachers, because like my whole track team, you know how we're supposed to be athletic and fit? That's the
Yeah.
stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what we all, including me, we all wanted to end our athletics when the coach brought up cookies. Like, because he gives us cookies if we go to the optional practice. Well, I mean, we were I don't know. We were, would you say that we were manipulated by the coach to go to the practice because he promised us something?
Yes.
Does that make us weak-minded, that it was something as silly as cookies?
No. That just makes you fall under their rule. You're not silly-minded. You're like everybody else.
I was like everybody else. I had cookies like everybody else, but I went to the track practice.
If you legitimate...
I wanted to, you know, have that extra practice.
If you
I'm not gonna pretend the cookies, though.
Here, if you legitimately wanted to go to track, or if I legitimately wanted to go to band, I would go there without any coaxing or without anything. A parent could make me go. Maybe. But I don't think that I would go anyway. Well, here, that's not a good thing. I would say... Yeah, you left, right? Yeah, I know. But, if you really wanted to go, you would go without anybody else making you. And that's the thing. I hope this was a good speech for anybody who went with me this long. If you did, then you're in the road. And I hope that this meant something to you. I'll see you next time.